Well, hi guys, Tony with you. Welcome to Let's Get Running. And it's another beautiful day, another beautiful morning down here by the river. Just look at this. To me, this is what running's all about. Getting out, enjoying the scenery, enjoying the weather, enjoying the run. So recently somebody asked me, can I do a day in the life of video? Well, to be honest, I think my life's quite boring at the moment. Wake up, run, work, eat, sleep. Yeah, you don't need a video on that. So instead of doing a day in the life of video, I'm going to break it down into little sections. Like today, we're going to start a new series, What's in My Kit Bag? So we all have various things that we use whilst we're out running. You've probably noticed if you've been running a while, you've now got a full drawer of running gear. Where did that come from? It's stuff we just accumulate over the weeks and months. Oh, muddy puddles, look at this. It's not rained for 4 weeks. So as I say, we all accumulate stuff over time. And we put some of this into rotation and we put other bits away for emergencies. So today I'm going to start my series What's in the Kit Bag, and I'm going to be looking at my running shoes, what I've got in rotation, what I'm using and why I use them. We'll go into that in more detail when we get back to the studio. But in the meantime, how's your week been? Busy training for nothing? Yeah, same for me. Marathons aren't till the end of the year, and the smaller local races are still being cancelled as we get closer to the dates, because there's no sign in lockdown being lifted yet. So my week's been 3 10Ks, and on Thursday it was the running club's 5K shootout, virtual one. Do it in your own time, your own pace, at your own place. So I did my 5K. I'm putting a new personal best, 19 minutes 11 seconds. Very productive week, hard work but very productive. Also managed to pick up 2 pieces of bling this week, which I'll show you in a sec. Got them for doing some virtual races from our local running company. Big shout out to Lewis and Alan at Foul Coast Runners, a company that's been decimated by the lockdown. Can't make any money from events, so they've been putting on some virtual events. So if your local running companies are doing something like that, please help them out by taking part in some of these events. It's their only income at the moment, so you need to do your part to keep this running community going. Anyway, I'll get this run finished and I'll see you in the studio for what's in my kit bag. Hi guys, welcome back. Tony James with you. Thank you very much indeed for joining me. If this is your first visit to the channel, thank you very much for bobbing along. But can you do me a favour? Can you hit subscribe and the bell notification so you find out every time I upload new videos? Also, don't forget to be social. Come and join me in the social media world. Just do a search for Tony James Running on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter, if anybody still uses Twitter. So today I want to start a new series. Somebody did say to me, as I mentioned earlier on, that can you do a life in the day of series, which I will consider and I'll look at doing, but at the moment I find my life just totally boring. So in the meantime, I've decided to look at various aspects of my running. So to start off with,
we're going to go what's in the kit bag, and today it's going to be shoes. But before that, also this week received 2 pieces of bling, which I will share with you. Now, as I said earlier, go and support your local running companies because they haven't got any money incoming at the moment. So if they're doing virtual races, now would be a good time to go and support them. File Coast Runners, which is the local running organisation near us, have just done 2. The Fleetwood 10K got cancelled on the 5th of April, so they turned it into a virtual run, which I've now completed and got the bling for that. Really do like that one. Life is better in running shoes. About sums it up. So that's the first piece of bling I received this week. And also, File Coast Runners are doing a virtual seasonal run. Again, it's a 10K for spring. Managed to complete that a couple of weeks ago and I've received the bling for that as well. So brilliant. Well done to Lewis and Alan at File Coast Runners. Best of luck to you guys. Hope you get through this lockdown period and can get organising those races as soon as possible. So let's get into it. This is the bit you've been waiting for. This is the bit you clicked watch for. What is in my kit bag? What shoes am I currently using in my training and my racing? Quite simple, and I upset the wife with this when we worked it out earlier on. I have got 6 pairs of shoes in rotation. Who would have thought it? 6 pairs of shoes. I know, running shoes, you can never have too many, but we've got 6 pairs. So what I'd like to do over the next few minutes is run through those shoes with you, why I use them, what I use them for, and why I like them. Little bit of a disclaimer before we start. All these shoes are owned by me. All these shoes were bought by me. None have been given to me in any way, shape or form. So these are just totally my shoes that I've been using over the last 2 years in my running career. And first of all, I'm not going to apologise for the state of some of these shoes. They are working running shoes. They're not to be put on a shelf and looked at. They are working running shoes, all right? So bear that in mind when you see the state of them. So my first pair of shoes is the first pair I bought when I started running back in April 2018. Went down to that well-known high street sports shop. You know the one I mean, that knocks out cheap gear. And I bought a pair of Carrymores. Carrymore Road Plus Ride, they're called. They were less than £50 at the time, and as you can see, they have been well and truly running. I've done about 600 miles in these, and these were basically my shoe for racing and for training when I first started out. They've done a lot of miles, and I actually wore these while I was recording the running bit earlier on in this video. Still got quite a bit of bounce in them. They still feel quite good, and you know, they've been the workhorse, as you can tell by the state of them. And I really still do like the feel of them. They're still nice to run in, but they've started to go. If you can see in there, they're starting to lose the padding around the heel counter, and also, well, it's not so much on this right one, but on the left one, the rubber started to come off them as well. So they are nearing their end of their running life, but they were my first shoe, and they still feel like a good all-round shoe. It was the first one, so you always remember your first, don't you? I do actually still like them. Not bad for a cheapy shoe. Now, the second shoe I've got in my arsenal is also the second shoe I bought. It's when I suddenly discovered that you can actually buy really good running shoes. So I bought a pair of Nike Zoom Fly. Now, they're in white and they're looking a bit grubby for being in white. Now, these are the shoe I have used for the London Marathon and the Berlin Marathon last year, and countless other halves and 10Ks. These were my go-to running shoe. Sorry, these were my go-to racing shoe. The ones with the fly wire, and they're called Zoom Fly, but the foam underneath has nothing to do with Zoom at all. It was something else that I can't remember the name of. It's something I can't pronounce, to be honest. But no Zoom technology in the Zoom Fly. It was the first edition of the Zoom Fly with the fly wires and the thin laces. And you know what? It felt so springy when I first got these, and I still like racing in them because they've still got a firm bounce. I think we're up to about 500 miles in these. They've still got a nice bounce in them, still usable as a training shoe. They're no longer my race shoe, and I'll show you what's taken over from those in just a short while. But I really do like them. They're breathable, they're lightweight. I'd say about 500 miles in them, and I've just noticed they've started to just a little bit of a fray on the edge there, but they're still, apart from being well worn, they're still very usable, and I do like them. And this particular pair hold my current marathon personal best at 4 hours and 54 seconds. So we're looking to improve on that. But yeah, the Nike Zoom Fly, they're in my arsenal. So the third pair of shoes that I've got in rotation at the moment are my actual running shoes, the ones I use in all the races. And no surprise when you find out it's a Nike, the Pegasus Turbo 2. These shoes, when I put them on, felt like slippers. They are so light and so responsive with the Zoom foam in there. Just the Zoom foam, no carbon plates. But they're so responsive, so springy. They really are, to me, these really are like running on trampolines. I know it'll be totally different once I get into the next percents or the Alpha Flies, but these, so responsive, so quick, so nice when they're on. They lock down really well. The foot is inside with plenty of room. And even with the Nikes being narrow in the midfoot, it still feels... To be honest, I can't feel them when I'm wearing them that good. This particular shoe is the one that holds my 5k personal best at 19:11. I also have my half marathon personal best in this shoe, which is 1 hour, 32 minutes and 21 seconds. So this is my go-to running shoe. Sorry, I keep saying running shoe. They're all running shoes. This is my go-to race shoe. Really do love it. And I was... really glad when I got hold of this, especially in the luminous green. Absolutely love this as a racing shoe. It's brilliant. And the same with the Pegasus as with the Zoom Fly. I managed to find a good deal. The Zoom Fly did get down to about £90 at the time. And this Pegasus Turbo 2, they were on offer in January, and I think I paid something like £100 for them instead of the 140, 150 they should have been. So keep your eyes out. As I said in the new to running video, keep your eyes out for those discounts on running shoes. They can make a big difference. So I think I paid £100 a pair for these Nikes Pegasus Turbo 2s. Now my fourth pair of shoes I recently did a video on, and I was amazed that I managed to get these for just slightly over £40. The Adidas Adizero RC2s. Now, all I can say about this budget shoe is it's awesome. Been running in this, been doing short runs, I've done a half marathon distance in this, and this shoe is amazing. It is so light, it is so breathable, and the Light Strike foam is so... It's hard to put into words. It's so it is really good, really bouncy. And to be honest, when I was running the half marathon distance, it seemed to get even better after about 3-4 miles. It really did seem to come into its own. And running that 13, 14 miles that I did that day, the shoe was so responsive, and so it just felt, it was another shoe that felt really good. It's strange to say a shoe feels really good and then not be able to say anything more about it. But you know, it felt good on my feet. I'm really pleased with that. And it's staying in my arsenal. It's going to be one of those shoes that I use as a everyday workhorse runner as I rotate them round. But I was really impressed with this. The Light Strike response is great. And just over £40. You can't go wrong. I'm going to get the reputation of being a deal finder here, I think. But that is a really good all-round shoe. Now, to be honest, my fifth pair of shoes is more a vanity purchase than workhorse, but these are absolutely gorgeous. It's the New Balance Fresh Foam X Tempo in the London Marathon Edition colourway. I know a lot of the American viewers are saying, where can you find them? You're just going to have a look on some of the websites, UK-based websites, and see if they do international sales. But it's the London Marathon Edition of the Fresh Foam X Tempo, and the colourway is absolutely gorgeous, this shoe. Running wise, it feels great on. Done a couple of half marathon distances in it. Didn't even know the shoes were on, to be honest. They were the lightweight, felt good, very responsive when you had to kick on to get past people because you're social distance and you just want to put a bit of speed up. The response from these shoes was brilliant. As I said in the review video, the only thing I do have a problem with these is the the foam at the front underneath the toe seems to be a bit thin, and when you're toeing off, you seem to be able to feel the ground a lot more than you can through the rest of the shoe. But am I going to wear it in the London Marathon? Probably not. I'll probably be sticking with the Pegasus Turbo 2s, but that is a beautiful looking shoe. Getting into the 6th pair of shoes that I own, that I have in my kit bag, and this shoe is probably the one that 80% of the time is the shoe I will turn to. It feels great on the short runs, very responsive on the long runs, and this shoe has done some long runs. This is the one I've been wearing when I've been doing those 20, 21, 22 mile long runs pre-marathon. It is a shoe I managed to get for half price. They were initially £150, but I picked mine up for £75. Definitely a bargain hunter, and this is the ASICS, whichever way you want to call it, ASICS Nimbus Gel 20 London edition for the 2018 London Marathon. Great looking shoe. As you can tell, it has been used. Probably got about 500 miles on this shoe, but this is my go-to running shoe. It's the one that feels great. As you can see, the heel counter has got proper padding in it. The tongue has got proper padding in it. It's full, thick laces, not the thin things that you tend to get in racing shoes these days. This is also the heaviest shoe in my running kit bag, 320 grams per shoe. It's heavy, it's well used, it's starting to wear down a bit on the foot pad, 500 plus miles on it. It's heavy, but unbelievably, it is the shoe that I will turn to 80% of the time. 8 out of 10 times, this is the shoe I'll put on and go out for a run in, because I just love the way it feels on my foot, and that's probably down to this extra padding. It just feels so sturdy. It's even 500 miles into it, the response from the foam and the gel is brilliant. It's still got quite a lot of bounce in it. They are just the comfiest pair of shoes I have ever owned, and that's why I just turn to it. And if you take all the running shoes away from me and just left me these, I won't be bothered. This would be the shoe. I'd run marathons in it. I would go for fast times in it. It's definitely my favourite shoe, and it looks the business, even though it looks a bit grubby. But as I said earlier on, I buy shoes to run in, not look at, apart from the fresh foams, which I will just sit and look at. So there you go, guys. Those are the 6 pairs of shoes I've got in my running arsenal. How many have you got? Let me know in the comments below. Also, let me know what shoes you are using and why as well. So if you've enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up, give it a like, share it with your friends, and don't forget to hit subscribe on the way out as well. And if you can, and finally, one last favour from you, please forward this on to 5 of your friends and get them part of this great running channel. Thank you very much indeed for watching. I will see you next time. Till then, let's get running.